Hey y'all. Today, let's talk about anxiety. Who in here has anxiety? I watched Inside Out 2 a couple days ago, and honestly, ever since watching that, I got inspired to make this video. Inside Out 1 was emotional because it reminded me of like my past and my childhood. Meanwhile, this one was emotional because it's literally my present day. Like I was like, oh, anxiety, like, yeah, that's what anxiety is like. But then I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. For me, I've had anxiety for so long. My anxiety is primarily social anxiety. I care about everything and anything when it comes to socializing and what people think of me. When you have anxiety for so long, and especially for me, it's like unmedicated, a lot of my thoughts are so unconsciously controlled by anxiety. I don't even think really twice about it anymore. Like, I just think that's the norm, which is not good. I basically care too much about what people think about me, and I let that determine who I am. So I care about how everyone perceives me. I can't even explain how hard it is for me to do things by myself. It is the classic headphones in, looking at my phone, standing at the corner. All that's going on in my head is like, I want to go home. I want to go home. Like, I hate this. They are all looking at me. I know that they think I'm a loser. That also roots from the fact that I was bullied and harassed when I was a kid up until like I was a little senior in high school. So my lord goes crazy, y'all. Also, I'm just gonna say, like, this video, it might be all over the place. I might just be rambling and like going from one point to another. So I'm gonna try my best to edit it so it's cohesive. A lot of people actually think that I'm extroverted because I'm rather friendly. When I meet people, it doesn't seem like I have a hard time. I like have found this like coping mechanism, I guess, or like my tool of socializing so that my anxiety doesn't get bad is to mirror the person. If you're nice to me and you're friendly, it's genuinely that I want to be nice and friendly to you back. But it's like, if I feel a certain vibe from you, I will mirror the same thing to make not only myself comfortable, but like in hopes that it makes you comfortable, right? So I'm like, oh, like maybe they'll like me if I act like this. Some of it is unconscious, but some of it is like I'm aware of it. Like I catch on to it super quick. That's why my friends say that I have good social awareness, and it's because of my anxiety, because I'm overthinking everything about you. Like I am analyzing every little thing about you. And so if I even get like a slight weird look, or maybe like I see you're behaving a little weirdly, I will catch on to it. Another is just like generally how people perceive me. I have this like huge obsession ever since I was younger, which is also rooted from the bullying, is that I just want people to like me. And that if anyone didn't like me, it meant I was a terrible person, I'm unlikable. Even though I am very much a person that cannot maintain that many friendships, if I'm gonna be honest. Like I can't really maintain big friend groups, but I still would kind of like force myself into like these big social circles. And I did that throughout high school, college, after, you know, in my adult life. It never worked out. I realized there would be like moments where I, you know, knew I didn't really get along with these people, but I was like, you know, it's fine, like we're just casual. And then it was like, no girl, you don't feel any connection with these people, so why are you forcing something? Like I've never had any of those friendships last long. Or if someone was nice to me, I would be nice to them back, even if I didn't like them. And even sometimes when they weren't nice to me, I would still like not like give them chances, which is crazy because if you knew me like when I was like 19, 20 years old, if there was someone that did not like me or gave me bad vibes, it was over. I was like, nope, I don't want anything to do with them. Girl, what happened to the plot? What happened to the original plot of the story? Why did you care so much about what they thought? You did not like them. It'll be like a week or maybe like 2 weeks where I genuinely do not leave the house because I don't want to have any social interactions. That's kind of like a sum up of how I feel. I don't know if other people's social anxiety is the same. There's so many more layers that I wanted to talk about with Inside Out 2. I know people would think like, oh, anxiety, she's so annoying. And even I was like, girl, what are you doing? But I was like, you should know better. All of the, if I do this, they'll like me. If I do this, it'll work out and like things will be fine. The part that made me really emotional was when anxiety started tearing up, because a part of me, I think, knows that my anxiety hurts me, you know. And even when I have these anxious thoughts, like I know inside my head that it is hurting me and I'm sabotaging myself, and it's painful and it's sad and it makes me really frustrated and upset at myself and ashamed too. But it's sometimes like you just can't control it. Like you really don't know how to stop it. So Riley's anxiety was kind of making her into a person that she did not want to be. She had this version of herself, her sense of self, which was, I'm a good person. And then anxiety ripped it away and started trying to make it into this new person, which is, I'm not good enough. Like, if I do this, they'll like me. I need to be better. Yeah, that's essentially what happened with me. I had a really hard time standing up for myself. I actually never did most of the time. That version of myself was someone that I really felt bad for, and I consistently wanted to protect. So when I went to college and I got to escape from all of this high school stuff, and I thought that this would be like a new version of myself, I knew that I wanted to be stronger. And so I became like a very honest person. I held my morals very high. I spoke my mind and I said things that I needed to be said because that was what was important to me. And that's what I felt was protecting me. Upon hearing what other people were saying about me, they kind of saw it as like mean and potentially bitchy. And at that time, I was like still kind of like in the high of me being able to stand up for myself finally, that I was like, yeah, I'm a bitch. And I would literally try to convince myself that I was a bitch, that I would tell people that. My friends would joke, being like, oh, the first time I met you, you scared me. I started feeling like, is this not who I want to be? What I always wanted and what I knew what I wanted for myself was I just wanted to be a good person. I wanted to be someone that people can see as nice and friendly. But then hearing all of this, I was like, this doesn't make me a good person. Maybe I am a bitch. Maybe I'm too mean. Maybe I'm not accepting of enough people. And maybe I'm too selfish, that I'm only thinking about what's right for me. And I started having all these thoughts, and then mixed with just like a point in my life where I became very insecure and I lost all sense of myself. Complete switch in my personality, I felt like, which ended up being a lot of suppressing what I thought and what I wanted to say. I let a lot of things slide. I pushed things under the rug. I kept a lot of things in the air. But then to me, I was like, no, this makes me more patient with people. Like, I'm being more accepting. I'm allowing them to feel more comfortable around me. And this makes me a good person. That went on for several years. And I honestly thought it was the best version of myself. I thought this was it. When I had some people tell me, I like this version of you. When you say that to someone with social anxiety or just like any anxiety, ooh, I fed into that hard, and I was like, okay, this is the person that I have to be, right? So I fabricated this person that I thought that people would like more. I genuinely did not know who I was. I just existed. I didn't really notice this about myself. I definitely felt weird, but I didn't know what was wrong until this version of myself started backfiring. Things were going wrong and I was like, why is it going wrong? And because I was having these problems and I was like so insecure about myself and I really didn't know who I was, I started convincing myself I'm a bad person because I don't know who I am. I have no sense of identity. This is not who I am. And then that's like that Riley scene where they start spiraling because they're like, no, like I need to do this, and like anxiety is like going crazy trying to figure out the right answers. I would constantly tell my like very close friends, like, I just want to be a good person. Like, I just feel like for some reason, even though I don't do anything bad, I feel like a bad person. And it was because I was always seeking for validation from other people that I was good. Right? Like that my version that I made for them was good enough for them. But the reason why I struggled to even feel good about myself and I would constantly think I was a bad person is because it wasn't my version of who I wanted to be. It wasn't my version of a good person. It wasn't my version of me. So then that scene at the end when Riley's sense of self becomes all these versions of herself, not just I'm a good person, which it's literally like I felt clocked because I was like, why is that the same exact thought? Like, why is that me? I felt like clocked, but I felt seen, you know? For someone who has been trying so hard to find who I am and what the definition of who I am as a person for so long, knowing that I could be myself without being perfect and admitting that a sense of myself is the imperfections of myself, the more I keep letting my anxiety try to seek a version of myself that's a validation from others, I'm never going to find happiness. And I'm constantly just going to keep sabotaging myself and my relationships with other people and my sense of like reality. It's very hard to live your life without a sense of identity. I think I remember like the time that I started to truly change. It was after I graduated college. I genuinely was so lost. I know this happens for a lot of post-grad people. So it was so easy to feed into the idea of like, okay, then let's let other people decipher maybe who you should be. It's kind of crazy to look back because I remember certain times where I would think like, I don't think this is right. Like, I feel like you know what to do, Ayu, you know? And you know, you have that like gut. And I'm like disappointed in myself that I didn't trust my gut. I am honestly truly grateful for like the really close friends that I have right now. Some of them you've seen in my vlogs and stuff, and they tell me honestly if they feel something is wrong. They are the people who truly have made me feel so loved. Growing up, I didn't feel very loved and I didn't feel a lot of love. Like, what's it called? Oh, it's such an unfamiliar feeling that I like deny it. I'm like, oh no, this can't be happiness. Like, this can't be it. So when I experienced like mean energy, I would have like anxiety attacks, I'd be crying, and I was like in a very bad place. But it was also like, I was just very upset that there could be so much like meanness in the world. And it triggered a lot of my like bullying when I was a kid. Also for me, I've been in a place in my life where I hated myself and I hated life. So all the energy that I emitted to was just hate. It was mean. It was a very bad time. I was bad vibes all the time. I hurt myself and I hurt people. In a place right now where I know what it's like to feel support and love. There's so many people that want me to be happy. So I want other people to be happy too. And I never really thought that there was a time in my life where I would experience a feeling like that, because I spent so many years of my life where everything was just sad. When everything in your life sucks, you just like hope that everything in the world sucks. But now that I've experienced the other side, I'm like, wow, this is better. But with that being said, I also do have to say like a disclaimer that although I suffer heavily from anxiety, there's a lot of things in my life that you know, I make mistakes. I own up to them and I take accountability for it. These things are things that I have to accept that have happened in my life that I need to grow from, and I need to learn, not make those mistakes again. Sometimes you just don't know what happens in life until it hits you and you're like, oh shit. Some of my wording is like kind of sucks and it's like ass because I can't think of the right words, because a lot of the things that I'm feeling right now are feelings and emotions. It does definitely feel like that end scene where they all hug her new version of self. That's what I feel like right now, is all my emotions are like, welcome home, kind of. Damn. My own statement just made me emotional. If any of you guys experience anxiety or experience any kind of mental illness, because a lot of the times I'm like, why did I do that? Why was I like that? Why did I not do this? Why did I do this? And I like literally keep myself in a jail over all of these thoughts. It's mental illness. I hope any of you guys who are listening to this can find any kind of comfort in any of the things that I said. If you feel comfortable, I'd love to hear any version of your guys' story. But also know that your anxiety does not define you, no matter how much your anxiety has done things that maybe you regret, or it has locked you in a place where you're not quite sure what you want in your life or what you're doing. Something that has helped me is talking with close friends. And if you don't have close friends, talk to yourself. I do that a lot, where I just literally talk to myself. I talked about my feelings and things that I've discovered and things that I'm feeling, and it helps me to sort through a lot of the things that either I've spiraled about, I've overthink about, because overthink, is that a word? All this. That was my sign from my tea to shut the fuck up and end this video. Let me know if you guys like these types of videos, because usually when I talk about these types of things or like my mental health, I am so much more lighthearted and I joke around, because that is my coping mechanism. Take care. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.